He has contributed his artistic talents to projects such as the mural at Mugs and Muffins and Mrs. Morris's biology class mural, allowing his skills to shine in ways that benefit the entire school community. Teachers describe him as dependable, thoughtful, and a joy to have in class, noting his willingness to help with organization, presentations, and group responsibilities without ever seeking recognition for himself. Peers and teachers alike appreciate his admirable character. He never complains, treats everyone he meets with respect, and always gives his best effort. He may be quiet, but his work ethic, kindness, and creativity speak volumes. He is truly deserving of this recognition tonight as both an outstanding student and an exceptional young man. Please congratulate Mr. Turner on our October Senior of the Month. Well deserved. I would like to give a big shout out to his mom, who was not only one of my students, but one of my most favorite cheerleaders. Thank you so much for letting us love him every day. Thank you again to everyone.
Congratulations. Okay, we are going to move on to our October Support Staff Member of the Month. Ms. Reese. Good evening.
I'd like to invite Miss Suzanne Boggs to the front, please. She's so nervous. She has nothing to be nervous about. We are proud to recognize Mrs. Suzanne Boggs as Waverly Owl's October Support Staff Member of the Month. As a dedicated paraprofessional, she consistently goes above and beyond to support both students and staff throughout our building. Her willingness to step in wherever she's needed and her positive attitude make her a true team player and an invaluable part of our school community. In addition to her daily work with students, Mrs. Boggs is pursuing a degree in education, demonstrating her deep commitment to learning, growth, and the teaching profession. Her passion for helping students succeeds and her genuine care for others shine through everything she does. We are grateful for her teamwork, professionalism, and heart for education. Congratulations, Mrs. Boggs, and thank you for being such an essential part of the Waverly Owl family. I would now like to recognize our October Teacher of the Month, Mrs. Katie Gelati. If you would come forward, please, Ms. Gelati. She's nervous too. These ladies don't like the spotlight, but they do such a great job. This month, we proudly recognize Katie Gelati, our talented STEAM and art teacher, for her outstanding dedication and creativity. In her new STEAM role this year, she has embraced the challenge of connecting science and innovation across grade levels, helping students see how creativity and critical thinking work hand in hand. She actively collaborates with grade level teachers to ensure her lessons provide a valuable cross-curricular experience that reinforces and enriches the science content taught in the classroom. Whether she's guiding students through hands-on experiments or inspiring them to express themselves through art, her lessons bring learning to life. Beyond the classroom, Mrs. Gelati is always one of the first to volunteer her time and talents to support school events, ensuring that every activity reflects our school spirit and pride. She also serves as our yearbook coordinator, capturing the moments and memories that make our school year special. Her positivity, flexibility, and commitment to our students and staff make her a true asset to our school community. Congratulations, Mrs. Gelati, and thank you for all you do to make Waverly Out Elementary a place where creativity, curiosity, and collaboration thrive. Thank you. That's pretty good. Thank you.
Congratulations, ladies. Thank you for all you do. Okay, our next agenda item is public comments. We welcome public comment from the public. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name and the area that you live in the county, and you will have 3 minutes to tell us what you want to tell us. So we invite you, anybody that would like to come to public comment, please come to the podium.
Lisa Davis, Locustdale. First of all, I want to give you an update. Is it working? Okay. I want to give you an update on the junior ROTC program. I think it's North Carolina. But one of the Carolinas, the brigade headquarters have been contacted. Next we have to do is fill out some DA forms, which I'll get with the school superintendent and Michael Graham, and we'll start the next procedure. And then at the end of this year, probably early next year, they'll do a site visit. Something else. I was sitting back there as I was listening to you giving another award out. You know, it's been challenging times for you school board. You've gone through the COVID, the book restrictions, the academic matter, the use, then we looked at it again, cell phone bans, just on and on. And you had some really tough decisions. You had voices of disconsent up here at times. I would listen to them. I may not agree with you on everything, but at least I can say I understood where you were coming from and I conducted myself accordingly. Now, there's one more thing I want you to do, and I've got 1 minute and 36 seconds to go. Now, you give out awards and you recognize people all the time. Now, since I'm the audience, I'm asking you all to stand up. I want you to stand up right now. I'm an audience member here. I pay my taxes. So, school board members, it's time for you all to take a bow. I personally acknowledge over the years that I've been here with you all that you have done one hell of a job. You've had, some really horrific times, but the hours you put in, the time you gave up from your family for this school and the school system, I want to personally thank you. And I have my granddaughter going into pre-kindergarten now, so this is very important to me, what you all have done, and in the future, whoever replaces you. But I'm standing up here and giving you a clap. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Lisa. That was sweet.
My name is Russell Biber. I'm from Brightwood, and I second that motion. And I am so grateful for the leadership that you have shown, the difficulties that you've faced, and we continue to pray for you. And I'd like to have a word of prayer with you now. Our Heavenly Father, we do thank you so much for a school board that desires to do as you direct. Father, our nation is founded upon Christian principles. And we thank you for that. It's a nation that has thrived. And it's leaders like these and so many others that have made our country what it is. Father, I do pray that you would give them continued wisdom. I pray that you would be with each principal of the schools, each teacher, every administrator on the school board. Father, every student, every staff member. Thank you for the safety that you've given. I pray that would continue. I pray, Father, since you are not the author of confusion, that confusion would not be a part of Madison County Schools. Father, I pray your continued guidance upon our school board, within our schools. May you be pleased in what takes place. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Would anybody else like to address the board?
Good evening, John Jenkins, Brightwood, Virginia. Just want to give you an update about the softball program over the past few years and the process. Hello? Closer to it?
Sir, up to you.
Okay.
Can you all hear in the back? Can you say something?
Hello? Is that good?
Can we give him his time back, please?
It's better. Start the timer over. Can you start? Thank you.
Thank you. So just to give an outline of dates, May 23rd was our final game of this year. May 28th, I received an email from the athletic director about a coaches' day in Charlottesville. May 29th, we had an email sent out to the coaches for coaches attend if they wanted to coach the following year. So your intent to coach the following season. I answered that email within 3 minutes saying I did intend to coach the following year. We had a follow-up email on July 16th about the Coaches' Day in Charlottesville, which was to take place on the 28th. I attended that meeting with my assistant coach and the JV coach on the 28th. Following that meeting on August 19th, I sent a phone call to our athletic director, Mr. Tryon, that I had a message for him. I also sent a text message that afternoon on the same day to give me a call back when he had a chance. I had a question about conditioning for the year. He responded to an email on that Sunday at 10:18 p.m. saying he would like to have a meeting later in the week. I responded that same night saying that anytime, any place I would be available. So he set up a meeting on that Thursday, the 28th. At that time, he informed me that the softball had a lack of progress, and there was concerns in the community on the way the program was being conducted. So I asked for a follow-up meeting to explain to me lack of progress. That meeting was held on August 11th. Progress is defined as forward or onward movement toward a destination. The only concern I have with an actual definition of a word of progress is that's only correct if you understand your starting point. If you don't have a starting point, you cannot define progress. The young ladies that I've coached over the last 4 years are amazing. They work hard, they've tried their best. I'm not here to make excuses for them, but it has to be understood, when I took over the program, nobody signed up or nobody applied for the varsity position, which is hard for me to understand if we had such a great program that nobody wanted that job. But I did. And I've been with these young ladies for 4 years now. Unfortunately, I have 2 more pages I would love to read to y'all, but I'm out of time. So I came nowhere close to saying what I wanted to say. But if we have more time later, I would love to explain. I'm not here to change anybody's mind about stipends for coaches. I'm not. I'm at peace with what has happened. But I'm just here to make sure you hear the truth. That's all I'm doing. Thank you.
Could, Ms. Jenkins, will you share what you hear writings with us? Will you email them to us? Do you have it written?
You can have this.
Okay.
Copies.
Sure.
If you want this,
I'd like to see it.
that's fine.
My name is Brent Ayler from the major metropolis of Etlin. Yeah, is that better? All right, to kind of reiterate, kind of what John was talking about, it's not just, so pretty much, tonight I want to discuss the state of athletics in Madison County under the current athletic director's tenure. Records are one thing, but trends matter more. Football, 22 to 23, we were 6-5. 23 to 24, 5-6. 24 to 25, we were 6-7. Overall, football has hovered around 500. There's been no clear step forward or program breakthrough. This is stagnant. Soccer, there's a slight decline over the past 3 years. Girls soccer, stagnant. No major improvement over the 3 years. Baseball, the program has declined over the past 3 years. Softball, it also has declined. Track and field, that's a little bit different because it's more individualized and stuff like that. But the bigger picture, football stagnant, boys soccer is strong but showing signs of decline. Girls soccer stagnant, baseball declining, softball declining, track and field inconsistent with no clear program growth. Out of the 6 major programs, only one, which is the boys soccer, shows consistent at regional competitiveness, and even that program has slipped in recent results. What that means, lack of program stability, especially in JV and feeder levels, inconsistent coaching, support, and retention, poor transparency in tryouts and roster decisions, missed opportunities, like post-COVID, a lot of kids just didn't return. So, one thing I'm calling y'all to do, require annual reporting, win-loss, regional placements, and participation numbers of every program. Audit the pipeline. That's crucial, for anything. Support good coaches. The one that just left, he's excellent. I can truly speak on his behalf. We've done fundraisers for him. My family personally make apple butter. He showed up at 3 o'clock in the morning to help, get things going to raise money for these girls. He truly cares. And transparent tryouts. That's key. Thank you.
My name is Isabel Moorhead, and I'm from Banco, Virginia. And I'm writing to express my deep admiration for Coach John Jenkins and to share the profound impact he has had on my life, both as a softball player and as a person. I have had the privilege of playing varsity softball under Coach Jenkins for 1 year, and during that time, he demonstrated unwavering dedication, care, and support for his players. Coach Jenkins consistently went above and beyond what any coach could be expected to do. He stayed after practice to help players work on any skill they wanted to improve, proving guidance, encouragement, and patience every step of the way. Even after I left Madison County Public Schools, he continued to stay in touch and met me at the field to help me further my skills. His commitment to his players' growth extended far beyond the game itself. During a very difficult JV season, marked by conflicts with the JV coaching staff and a losing record, I considered quitting Madison softball. Coach Jenkins encouraged me to persevere, reminding me to keep working hard and to not give up. His belief in me gave me the courage to continue, and I will never forget his support. I was injured during a softball game, suffering a broken hand along with swelling and contusions to my face. Coach Jenkins was the only person who reached out to check on me, showing genuine concern for my well-being and recovery. His care went far beyond coaching. He was a mentor, a supporter, and a true role model. It is truly disheartening that the Madison County Public School System appears to prioritize only winning records over the invaluable qualities Coach Jenkins brings. His dedication, mentorship, and the life lessons he instills in his players are far more meaningful than wins and losses. High school sports may only last 4 years, but the impact Coach Jenkins has on his players will last a lifetime. He teaches resilience, perseverance, teamwork, and integrity, qualities that will carry well beyond the field. Coach John Jenkins is not only an outstanding coach, but also an extraordinary person. His mentorship, generosity, and commitment to his players' growth, both on and off the field, have left a lasting mark on my life. Any program or player fortunate enough to have him will benefit immensely from his leadership and character. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board?
Okay. Hello, my name is Isabella Dietrich, and this is Brittany Weekly. I've been playing softball. This would have been my 4th year with Coach John as my coach on varsity, and this would have been her 2nd year on varsity. My peer athlete wrote this letter, but she could not be here tonight, so I'm reading it for her. Hi. My name is Isabella. I'm an MCH student and softball player. I am writing this letter to let you know how I feel about the situation with Coach John Jenkins. My thoughts might not change the outcome of our coach, but I am determined to try anyways. As I heard about the news of my coach, I broke down in tears, not just because I've been with him through high school, but because he created a love for me in softball on a different level. He was able to have a unique perspective on the game I had no clue was possible in the best way. Coach John Jenkins knows what he talks about and teaches us to get ready for where we are and the next level ahead. He doesn't just coach to coach. He coaches because he cares for us as a team and cares for this sport, as some other coaches might just yell at us when we are already down. Coach Jenkins notices and helps with what we are doing wrong with a tone that makes it easier to listen to. Our coach understands with the million other things us athletes do, and with his busy schedule and still shows up every day with games, practices, and before season workouts. I personally do think we need a change, but not a change of coach. As a plan, I think if it's possible to go at least 1 more year as a trial. Us players can have a one-on-one conversation or write him letters feeling what we think needs to change and our perspectives. Last year wasn't the best, but I do not think it was because of our coach. The girls have a huge effect on how our team has ran, and not saying that was all us, but still. This year, we should have more numbers hopefully coming out for tryouts, because the past years have been difficult. I wouldn't have asked for a better coach than John Jenkins. I appreciate your time, and hopefully you consider what I as a player has to say. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Megan Dean. I'm from Madison, Virginia. I'm a former player for John. I'm now a college athlete at Eastern Mennonite University, and I can honestly say that I wouldn't be where I am today without John. He's believed in me when I always didn't believe in myself. He pushed me to work harder, not just on the field, but in life. He cared about every player, no matter if you were a star or someone just learning the game. John built more than just a softball team. He built a family. He showed us how to respect the game, how to carry ourselves with pride, and how to treat people the right way. He taught us about responsibility, teamwork, and giving 100% even when things got tough. Those lessons still help me every day as a college athlete and as a person. But if we're going to talk about evaluations, it shouldn't just fall on John. The assistant coaches and JV staff need to be looked at too. John gets players from the JV team, and that's where the foundation should be built. Most players should already know how to throw and catch, but if there are girls who are just starting out, then of course that needs to be taught. The problem is, John often still receives players from who don't know how to throw or catch properly. This takes a lot of time because instead of being able to work on game situations, strategy, and more advanced skills, he has to focus on teaching the basics, which are things that should have already been learned. That's not just on him, that's a program issue. You say that John was fired because of his record or not exceeding in the right direction, but how can you expect to win games when so much time has to be spent teaching things that should have already been learned? It's also hard to build a winning program when several players only pick up a softball in December, play through May, and then don't touch one again until next December. You can't expect consistent success when the commitment just isn't there. John has gone above and beyond to give his players chances to improve. When I played for him, he had a connection with Gold's Gym and set up workouts twice a week with a personal trainer, completely optional but there for anyone who wanted to get better. That opportunity still exists even now, and yet there's little to no interest from the players. That's not on John. He's doing his part and more to create chances for growth, but it takes players and a full staff willing to meet him halfway. It's hard to see someone who gave so much to this program and this community to lose his job over things that weren't fully in his control. John put his heart into this team. He showed up for his players, supported us through everything, and made us better athletes and better people. He deserves respect for everything he's done, not blame for things that go deeper than wins and losses. I'll stand with John because he made a difference in my life, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kendall Soulsby. I'm from Radiant, Virginia. John was my softball coach from when I was in Parks and Rec. I've known him for years. He followed us, me, his daughter, and the rest of our Parks and Rec team onto varsity because we all begged him to. He wasn't sure if he wanted to or if he would be able to, but he followed us because we wanted him to. And even then, there wasn't a lot of people to try out for varsity. They didn't want to. Somehow, all of us managed to grab people and get them to play. And he has worked so hard to get them up to the level that they should be at. He can only do so much with somebody that didn't decide to start playing until 8th grade or high school. It's not a coaching problem. It's usually a skill issue with the player or their laziness. They don't want to play high school ball until they realize it gets them out of class. Or they just want the jersey or the recognition. He's worked his tail off for years. Like Megan said, we used to go to Gold's Gym all the time. We made apple butter in Parks and Rec to raise money, and he carried it into high school ball. He would provide snacks before every single game for all of us with his own money. A lot of coaches don't do that. And I remember before one of our scrimmages or after one of our scrimmages, he bought pizza for both teams. A lot of coaches don't do that. And my sister's senior year, which was in 22, there was another senior. She wasn't the greatest, but she had the heart for it. He knew it was her senior year, and he wanted her to have the senior year experience. So he still put effort into somebody he knew was going to be graduated and had no plans of playing softball in college. She got to play her senior night, and she got to live that out and have fun because she earned it through her dedication. So overall, it's not John's fault for wins and losses. He can't control attitudes. He used to tell us he can help us get better, but we have to want to help ourselves. It's not his fault or on him if we're not making improvements because we're not trying. So overall, John is probably the best varsity coach y'all will have ever had.
Hi, my name's Sean Curry from Riva, Virginia. I'm here to speak on behalf of all the parents of the JV softball team last year. I do not believe that John Jenkins is the issue. I firmly believe that the JV softball program is the issue. My daughter didn't learn anything at JV softball except how to make TikToks. Okay. I took it upon myself to start a travel team to help build the program since the JV coaches didn't do much. I got one child on my travel softball team that set the bench the entire year that is now the starting shortstop and batting fourth in the top 4 on the team. And she wasn't given a chance over a coach's daughter that was out there just to fool off and have fun and play games instead of focusing on the sport. I do not believe that John's the issue. I think there's a greater root issue that needs to be handled, and John be given his job back. Thank you for your time.
Would anybody else like to address the board?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Trey Mitchell from Banco. Most of you up there know me. I've coached your children along with John. I just want to speak on his behalf. One thing nobody's talking about here is character. That he's shown those girls character, and I don't have a young lady on the team yet. She's 10. I hope to get her there, and I want him to coach her. But the number one thing is that man right there, he coaches baseball kids on his own time. He comes out and meets them with the parents. Some of the parents are here right now. He does a lot of things that are unrecognized. Character is the main thing for any coach that I want my child to be around. So I asked you guys, I don't know what you can do, or if you have to have a meeting, there's other things that are wrong. I've met with other members up here and the staff on some other things. I don't want to bash a man or anything, but I think there's some other things that you guys need to look at. This man doesn't need to be bashed, and I know there were some calls where they said, hey, this is not a good program, this and that. Well, I think the things speak for themselves, these young ladies that are coming up here and talking, the community, the things he does, other than softball. That's the mark of a man. That's the man I want my young lady to be around and see how a man is supposed to operate in this community, not state championships. I want them to see how they're supposed to be treated. And I do know for a fact that he does protect our girls. He takes care of them when they're on the bus. He makes sure they don't get into all that, TikTok and the cussing and those things. He looks after them. Another thing that I think speaks a lot about him is, I don't know if you know, he's never going to tell you, but John was a walk-on. And John played, earned his position, and became a scholarship player. So that's something he's never going to tell you guys. So he knows how to take the hard road. He knows how to work from the ground up, get things going, do the right things, do all the things that he needs to do. That's stuff he's teaching our kids, and they're going to learn that. Then they're going to come back into this community. They're not all going to go play softball collegiately, but they're going to bring those lessons back. And that's what I want in this community, and I hope you guys do too. And hopefully you can figure out what to do. I don't know what. It may be too far gone. I don't know. But that's the man you need to coach. There's no other person in this community. I know people chirped and all that. Some of the people that have started all this, you don't hear them speak. So they didn't show up. Hopefully you can find it in your hearts to look over this stuff, listen to what we said, and make the right decision. Thank you.
There you go.
Would anybody else like to address the board?
Hi, I'm Delaney, and I'm from Madison. I never played softball, and never talented enough for it. However, I have a 14-year-old brother, and he has been coached personally by John. John has never asked for money. John has never been paid to coach my brother, and there's been times I've watched him go out there and act a fool. And every single time, John is patient, John is kind, and John is understanding of where my brother is at, and he always asks to see him again and is always focused on the next best thing for my brother, and I have just watched that, and it's honestly admirable. Like I said, I never played softball, but I think this is very important. You want coaches that aren't concerned about the pay or aren't concerned about, bringing the athletes to this, crazy competitive level. You want coaches that are going to care about the players and where they're at and bring them to the next level no matter what baseline they have. And I don't think there is a better coach that could do that than John. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to address the board? Okay. Board members, do you guys have any comments of your own?
So we're coming up on the end of 4 years of being on the school board for me. And in this 4 years, I've never had anybody have so many people come up and speak positively of. Conversations have been had. All y'all know how I feel about it. Most of y'all out there that have talked to me know how I feel about it. I know John personally. I wish I could be as good as John. Thank you, John, for all that you've done, and I hope that we can make it continue.
Thanks everybody for being here tonight. Just a couple of respond to a couple different comments. Pastor, thanks for always being here. Thanks for your faithfulness. Miss Davis, I think she left maybe. She did. I'll reach out to her. Just it's interesting about the JRTC thing. I wanted to tell her we were talking earlier tonight about how to increase kind of civility and decency, just basic manners. And one of the things the JRTC program does, it teaches you how to shake hands, look somebody in the eye, and say yes sir and no ma'am, and just kind of common decent things. And so it's an interesting thing to think about how that might support trying to bring some of those things to reinforce those things. So I just want to thank her for thinking about that and working on that. And thank her for her comments. And then last on the softball and the sports thing, I think certainly it's given us as a board something to think about, and certainly I think we will think about it together, I'm sure. On a bigger, and it's an important topic, and people obviously think strongly about it, and it's great, and it's wonderful to see that passion here tonight. Thank you for being here. I do think I've been thinking about this for a while, and I probably should have done it earlier, but I do want to have just to recommend something to the board and future board. We have a lot of advisory bodies, and I think it might be useful to have an standing advisory committee for athletics. I think we've seen the goodness of that in other areas. Madison County cares a lot about sports. It's a long tradition here at Madison County. I would like to see maybe we start up an advisory board that helps to advise the athletic director and the superintendent and the coaches, and allows a school board member and kind of have a group together to think about not so much. I think the process is in place for hirings and that sort of thing, and we obviously have an oversight on that, and we do and we'll do that. But I'm more thinking about how do we build programs. I mean, in this today. I've watched baseball, where there some of the most talented players go to travel ball. They don't play on the high school team. I think we have to respond to that somehow and think about how we respond to that. And I think that includes reaching down, at fifth grade levels and little league levels. We're already building sort of this bridge between that and JV and varsity, so that there's a pipeline that continues. And I remember, I played here at Eddie Dean, and one of the things that he did, he would work with the Parks and Recs football team in order to make sure the offense and defense that were run were the same offense and defense or the high school teams. And so there's this kind of, you kind of knew what was going, you kind of knew what to expect. And a lot of the things we did, I did as a 13-year-old, I then did playing ball and football in high school. So I just think there's room to think about how we build programs. It's an added challenge now because of kids playing less. There's a specialization of athletes, I think, is a big deal that we got to figure that out. There are a lot of challenges in the last, 10, 20 years that I'm not sure that we've responded to. And I think maybe if we had an advisory body that might help think about how we do that. So just a suggestion. Obviously, I'm not going to be here, but I think it might serve the school system well to provide a place to think about those challenges. That I think the comments there are obviously about one coach, and that's fantastic. But it also identifies a bigger issue about how we build an athlete from when they're 10 years old to 12 to 14 to 16 to 18. So anyway, that's my thought about how we do that, and Anna, maybe something to think about, setting up a new advisory committee sometime. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Yeah, outside of education, I've been in athletics for 27 years between Old Dominion and Culpeper County High School, and even in the rec department here. And Coach Jenkins, it's admirable to see the amount of people that speak about your character, your integrity, your impact, because they become lasting relationships that never end. Those kids that you work with for that brief amount of time that you get to spend with them, that blessing that you get, it's tremendous. And they look at you as a parent more so than they will probably ever tell you until they become parents themselves. And when I discovered that in my career, it's a very humbling experience and it's a blessing at the same time. So it helped me become a better parent myself. It is tremendous to see the impact that you have had in this community, and I hope that you can continue to do so in any respect that you end up having the opportunity to do. And for all of you that spoke out for him, thank you for that. Because a lot of times all you hear is the stuff from the bleachers or the sidelines, or from the umpires, or for the bad calls, or from the chirping or the chatter. And if there's any mark that a person can leave, is being able to pay something forward to somebody that can never pay you back. And that's obvious that you've done that to a lot of children. Thank you.
It's always so hard to go last because you guys always say all the good things. So I reiterate everything that these people have said. I also just kind of want to comment too on I'm going to call you all kids because I was your middle school counselor for a few years ago and it wasn't that long, right? But just kind of wanted to comment on anybody under 22 that came up here and spoke, because I know how hard it was and how difficult it is, but it just kind of shows yes, your passion for Coach Jenkins and everything like that. And I just want to commend you all for doing such a great job of taking your time to come to this meeting and to say those things, such wonderful things about somebody. So, but thank you all for coming.
I read it. It worked. I reiterate everything everybody has said as well. So I'm really the one that gets to go last. I always get to go last. But I reiterate everything that everybody else has said up here from my colleagues. I also thank everyone that has come and spoke. It means a lot, not only to John, but to us, so we can hear from you. It is important that that you come and you tell us how you feel. And sports is a big deal, right? It's a big deal in a small town. I'm going to tell a little story. When we were hiring the superintendent several years ago, I didn't get a phone call. Not one phone call about who we should hire or what the qualities were of the person that we should hire. But man, when COVID came and we couldn't play sports, all of y'all were blowing my phone up to vote to make sure that these kids could get back on the field or in the gyms. And so I know it's important to you guys, and I appreciate that. And your voice mattered back then, and it matters now. So I just wanted to say that. We will move forward with what's next. What is next? Middle school. Improvement plan. Come on down. Good evening.
Is this working?
Yeah, you have to like go really close.
My mouth is close. Is it any better? I'm going to eat the microphone here. Okay.
It's a little sketchy tonight. Mine is too. So.
Okay. If you can hear me, that's great. All right. So if we could go to the next slide, please. It's a lot better. Okay, so at Wetzel Middle School this year, we have adopted a new theme, and it is raising the bar at Wetzel Middle School. We are looking at that from all aspects, right? Attendance, behavior, academics, our growth with character. So this is our fun little saying for the school year. If you could go to the next slide. And so what we have here is we're starting with math. We have a goal this year to go from a 62% pass rate up to a 70% pass rate. The state sees improvement as what's called R10, and there's a calculation that's done based upon your failure rate. So what they would hope that we would attain is a 65.8% pass rate, but we would like to be where the state says that we are meeting expectations completely, which would be that 70%. If you look at the bottom there, we are very proud of the growth that we've made. So we're talking raw scores. I know there's been the last several years we've had a growth measure in there as well, right? And so this is just raw to raw. We went from a 54% raw pass rate the previous year to a 62% pass rate this year, which is pretty tremendous. There are several strategies you're going to see here on the right side of what we are doing to continue that improvement. We thank you, school board, for the new adoption of our new textbook. We're getting positive feedback from the teachers. They are enjoying that piece that was missing to be able to have that proper alignment. It is 100% aligned to the Virginia Standards of Learning. They've been digging in this first 9 weeks and finding it to be a very useful tool. We also chose an evidence-based intervention. This is something that is implemented in all math classrooms daily, and so the one that we chose is called Improving Mathematical Problem Solving in grades 4 through 8, and that was looking at our data and seeing where we tended to have some of our greatest weaknesses. So what this strategy does is it teaches students to use visual representations when they are calculating math problems. And so there is evidence behind that, clearly why it's called an evidence-based intervention, as to how it helps to improve students' math solving problem abilities. Next slide. The assessment piece, that's a little out of order, but that's okay. Assessments, so we joined the CIP, which is a consortium of different school divisions here in Virginia, and there is a benchmark that they provide. This is the first year that all of our schools are working with their material. It is completely aligned to the Virginia Standards of Learning. CIP does the data analysis on that, and it is correlated to the SOL, so it is a good predictor of how our students will do on the SOL. They analyze that data and give that back to us for our teachers to then analyze and find out where our strengths are, where our weaknesses lie. And then, which in fact, this is our week of those 9-week benchmarks. So we will find out, we will get that data back soon. Teacher support, professional development was provided this summer for our teachers. The evidence-based intervention professional development, we did one deep dive, and that is a continuation as we go back and look in our data meetings as to how that is unfolding in our classrooms. This past summer, we were able to send a few of our teachers to a professional conference at Virginia Beach. And then, of course, there's always informal and formal school level and division leadership observations to provide feedback to teachers. Monthly data meetings, so we analyze student performance in those meetings. We talk about ways that we can go back to the drawing table to support students who are still not getting it yet. And then our win time, you all are aware of that. We have a designated time. It is 45 minutes a day, where our students engage in whatever it is that they need, what I need time. And so our students are in Zern Math, and then there's enrichment for students, and some of them may be in math and reading, and that can alternate. Next slide. Reading, so our goal here is to go from a 61% raw pass rate up to 70. Again, the state is expecting us to go to 64.9 to be making that appropriate growth. This year, it's new. We have the VALS screener. We have completed that for this fall, and we did decide to give it to every single one of our students. It was a requirement for those who failed the SOL last year, but we did give it to every student to have a baseline. Previously, it only went through grade 3. So Waverly Gal also has it for 4th and 5th grade this year. You probably heard about that in their presentation to you last month. That screener does give us a bit more information about their reading needs. Of course, we're continuing with our alignment there of HMH into literature textbook. And then we chose an evidence-based intervention for reading as well. And it is for students to routinely use a set of comprehension building practices to help them make sense of the text. And you will see that there are the 4 parts there. And this is just a description that later, if you choose to read all of the ins and outs about that intervention, you are more than welcome to. Next slide. Of course, writing support continues. Professional development with each of these pieces. Again, monthly data meetings, we're talking about those. We also have department meetings 2 times a month after school. And then what is new to us this year is we used to do for our Tier 2 Reading Plus, and the state came out with an approved list of interventions, and Reading Plus was not on that list. So in looking at options, Lexia Power Up does contain everything that we need to meet our kiddos' needs. So we have switched to Lexia Power Up this school year, and then we are continuing with the Read 180 for our Tier 3 students. That is delivered by our special education teachers as well as our reading specialist. And then, again, enrichment for some of our other kiddos. And we have those 9-week benchmark assessments as well. Next slide. Science. Science is huge. So science, as you know, the state has been red with science for many, many, many years now. And we too have been trying to find that magic carrot to dangle for our kiddos to kind of come out of this. And we have gone from a 51% pass rate to a 66% pass rate this past school year, which is huge. And if you see that R10, it's at 69.4, so we're right there on the cusp, and we're going to get it this year. So we've just increased opportunities for our kids to have some hands-on experiments and learning, professional development, coaching support, alignment to these benchmarks. We've also had some staffing with our science department too. Hopefully we're getting a solid foundation with that, and that's going to continue to make a difference. Next slide. Professional learning. We do this all the time. Whatever there's a need for, we continue to provide it. Next slide. And then last is our chronic absenteeism. And I do want to give a lot of credit to Ms. Sacra. She is our master chief at overseeing our absenteeism, running meetings, coming up with incentives. And, you know, it takes a lot of work. I think you've heard from each of the schools as to how much work it takes to really get kiddos in school because they can't learn without being there. Our goal this year is to go from, we were just under around 13% And we'd like to go from 12.36% and make it to that district goal of below 5% for this upcoming school year. And then we have a goal here, of course, to continue with our positivity project that is just is well loved at our school, and our kids are doing a great job with that. I know we spoke to all the character things at the last board meeting, so you got to hear the details. If you'll go to the next slide, I just want to show you a couple pictures. This year, Ms. Sacra, so our theme being Raising the Bar at WMS, is she has created 3 bars for each grade level, one for 6th, 7th, and 8th. As soon as you walk into our school, you can see that. And every Monday, we have an announcement as to which grade level had the greatest attendance. And so over on the right, this kind of explains the competition and how that works. And then in the hallway, if you see the top picture up here, there it's like a wand, it's a bar, and it lights up and it flashes. And so whichever grade level wins that, it hangs above their hallway. And they kind of have the bragging rights for the week for having the best attendance. And so there are a lot of things that go into making this, possible, but just something fun that they can have bragging rights with. And we're on our way to meeting our goal. So our fit time, we did change a little bit. Rather than waiting for students to get to 10 absences and then make this an option, if any student is missing like 3 days, then we're offering this early on so that we can maybe recover that time earlier than what we've done before. So hopefully that will make a little bit of a change too. And it makes the work relevant to the time that they're missing. So, and that may be our last slide. Okay, yes. What questions do you have? Oh, and you know what? I do want to say one last thing. We have our preliminary-ish final numbers for the new accreditation system. And I'm very proud to say that we are sitting just below 86%, which is on track according to the state with our accreditation at the middle school. There is a listening session tomorrow from 4 to 5, and it's specifically for middle school and high school principals to give feedback on the new cut scores, the elevated cut scores. And I'm going to be participating in that. I'm signed up on that. So it will be interesting to hear what information comes from that to further guide us as to where we would like to make our next moves at the middle school.
Thank you. Couple questions. We were in school this morning, and I saw the students taking the benchmark thing. When do you get those results back, roughly? Do you know? Is it a quick thing? I was curious if it's like a next week or.
The CIP division, they take all the school division scores, and so they'll look holistically at all divisions that took it, and they'll calculate scores in that fashion as well. The kids are able to see their score right away. So kids today, after they took them, they could see it. But the data analysis piece, it's based off of 9 weeks. So what I would assume within the next few weeks, we will get that data back. It'll be actionable. It'll be soon. Some divisions gave it depended on when schools started their school date. Yeah. So once they've gotten that final data, we get that very quickly back, from what I understand.
That's nice. That's nice. It's quick.
Yeah.
And then congratulations on the math, 54 to 62. It's a big jump. And I mean, obviously, room to grow, but the whole, that's across the state. And so it's really, really good and a lot of hard work. So thank you for you and your folks' hard work. And the same for Matt with science was awesome. On reading, I think I may have seen it. What were you at? You want to go from 61. Where were you?
We were at 60, so we made 1% improvement.
I just want to make sure.
Not as drastic as the others.
But still, I mean, it's a good, it's right direction. And I just want to highlight something we talked about last month because the folks don't hear sometimes. But your good work is part of what Ms. Graham told us last month was. The district was 3rd in Virginia for the biggest jump in overall SOL results. So again, we weren't in a great place, across the board, but a lot of hard work has gone in to make us the 3rd overall. How many school districts are there, Anna? 132. too. So that's a lot of hard work, and you're certainly a big, huge part of that. And then overall, second in the state for overall state ranking improvement. So again, just thanks for your hard work. A huge part of that is your efforts, all your folks' efforts. So thank you.
Teachers, yeah. Teachers and students are putting in the work, so, thanks to them. Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments, questions? Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Okey doke, what's next? High school improvement plan. Come on down again.
All right, good evening again. Ours is not going to be as pretty and graphic as like all the other schools, because high school just kind of is high school. But we do have some great things to share. I'm going to go through our goals, and then we have some information just to share about DE, AP, and kind of just give you an overview of where we are. Our first goal, of course, is our GAP English. We were at 61% last year. We came up to 65%. This year, we are looking for 75%. And a big part of that is our year-long freshman English class. That really seems to get the kids, build that foundation. And that also includes both general education and special education teachers. And this year, we are fortunate enough to have Hillary Oots, our ELL teacher, pushing into classes, and actually a fourth block having a smaller one-on-one session with some of our students as well. Continuing with strategic instruction classes for Tier 2. That includes test-taking strategies, reading, writing skills, refining all of those before they move on to their sophomore English. And we're going to share, I can go ahead and share now too, for English. You will see that on a later slide, but we have what we call the work keys, which is a substitute test, and we had 20 seniors that needed to take that for graduation. We have had 19 students take it and 18 pass. So now they have that requirement for graduation out of the way, and that's hats off to everyone, all schools included, because they have built the foundation when we get them to build on. Next slide, please. Science, we were so close. We had 61% last year, and we wanted to get to 70%. We got to 69.43. So we're going to raise the bar. We didn't know we were going to be working with the middle school's theme, but we are. So we're going to raise the bar to 75% there. And we have such a good staff because we have all seasoned, certified teachers working, building a lot of hands-on opportunities. Our environmental science classes are out on the Young Farmers Ground. We have a trout tank that they're instructing. So it's a lot of hands-on things that are going on. But we also included our intervention and support block to mentor some of the teachers that just have 1 year of experience and to work with our students on Tier 2 and Tier 3. Continuously monitoring, working on curriculum mapping, pacing guides as well, looking at our pacing guides and looking at the CIP guides and trying to align everything for the state of Virginia. And getting in those classrooms as admin, getting in there and actually observing them. I've had the opportunity to actually get in and do some lessons with them because science is my thing. So, supporting those teachers too, letting them know that, we're there for them as well. So we will get to that 75%. We know, we have a great feeling about that. Next slide. Our learning support, we are working and switching over to Mastery Connect for our teachers, which will be our learning platform instead of Performance Matters. So we are having constant training for that, starting with our ITLs, working with individual departments. Give a shout out to Kim Adams. She has been amazing at training for that. And we are constantly meeting in our ITL meetings to see what is needed to make sure that by May 2026, we're 100% on board and everybody has switched completely over to that. Our school climate, working on absenteeism, which is not always easy for our high school students. We have already started doing more and more home visits, care meetings so that we can meet with the parents to see how we can help, how we can support, how we can get those kids to school so they can learn. And I want to give a huge shout out right now because I think our school SCA is really building leadership and school spirit within the school, and the kids want to come to school. And that's a huge thing. Watching some kids grow into these leadership roles warms my heart as an administrator and as a parent. We also have looked at our fit time and changed it. Last year we had 10 days absent. We're looking at 5 days now so that we can get them in sooner and work with them. And sort of just like the middle school, because then that whatever they're missing is more relevant and more timely for them to continue to learn. Next slide. So now we want to share just some of our information, our career and technical education. We talked a little bit about this at lunch today. We do have students that are going to Rappahannock High School every day for culinary. And then we also have students that are traveling to Charlottesville Career and Tech. We have students in EMT. We have students in cosmetology. We have students in firefighting. And next year we are hoping to grow that so that we can have some students in automotive and vet science as well. And they are gone half of their school day, and then they come back for first lunch and they finish their other half of the day here at the high school. Next slide. So why is our CTE program, which is something that we worked really hard on last year to grow? For one thing, we're building career readiness. We're giving kids that opportunity to grow within leadership, to have a job, to strengthen our community partnership. Our CTE is constantly working with our community. We are in the process right now of our building trades has met with our senior center so that our kids can go out and help put in windows, build ramps, do things like that. And I think that just gives great character for our kids, and that's a great learning experience for them as well. Another thing, students will graduate with credentials, and that can lead directly to employment for them. It can also lead to advanced employment before they actually even start the job, and they can do it right here in a small setting, which is wonderful. Next slide. And here's just some of our numbers just to give you an idea. And one of the ones, our Virginia Board of Nursing, for our nurses aid, we had 19 kids receive that. Our EKG, 5 students. Our patient care technician, which is 7 kids. I was just recently on a CTE Zoom with Northern Virginia schools, and a lot of the schools do not have this program. So we do have this program underneath Jackie Kemp, and she prepares these kids. And out of the 7 right now, we have 2 graduates that are at UVA that are continuing as registered nurses. And they feel like they were so prepared here in a smaller setting so that they could get that hands-on as well. Next slide. Dual enrollment, we wanted to talk a little bit about that too, just to kind of give you why we do it and how it helps our kids. Next slide. Again, getting a head start on college, earning those college credits, and we, as all parents know, saving money on tuition. It also builds that confidence and gets them ready for college. Looking at, like when my son was here taking DE speech, he could take it here with 20 of his peers versus when he went to Virginia Tech and taking it in a class of 750. You know, you can really get that hands-on experience here. It also, a lot of our DE are aligned with our workforce needs, CTE programs to even high demand careers. Next slide. And if we look at some of our numbers, we have DE chemistry, we have DE English. Our DE US history is huge this year. We have 41 kids enrolled in that. DE pre-calc, it's 28, and that's virtual. DE statistics, I think we went from 5 to 16 kids, which is a huge jump. DE psychology, this is the first time in 2 years that we have a student in that. And then Teachers for Tomorrow, we are working on building that program so that we can grow our own. And that is in collaboration, our students with Jemana right now. Next slide. And that's a little bit about our FEA program. It's a 2-year program, and it spans our junior and senior years. Right now, we have 2 students, and we are looking to grow that program for sure so that they can come back here and actually be teachers for Madison County. Next slide. National assessments. Next slide. Why those assessments matter again, same thing, earning that college credit, saving money, strengthening college applications. SAT, ACT, and AP demonstrates that rigor that we're looking for, helping students stand out in admissions to colleges, setting goals, expanding scores can lead to scholarships, free money again, honors programs, advanced placement and college coursework as well. Next slide. ACT, we had 3 total testers, 1 junior and 2 seniors, and we just put our composite scores down for those. MCHS at a 18.3, lagging a little bit behind Virginia, but very close to the national score. Next slide. Our SAT, 39 total testers, 8 juniors and 31 seniors, and you can see the 2 tests that they take. And we're pretty much right in line with Virginia for the English test and above for national, and math a little bit below for Virginia, but very close and a little bit above for national. Next slide. Our AP courses, we just kind of wanted to let you know how many students we have those, and in-person and virtual. And for our testing now, we've opened up our testing to homeschooled students as well, so that they do not have to try to find a proctor. So last year we had 1 homeschool student that came in, and we've already had 3 parents reach out this year to come in and test with us. And that just kind of tells you the classes that we have AP and whether they are in person or virtual and what year they are in high school as well. Next slide. And this just kind of gives you a little bit of what the average score is, how many students we had actually take those AP tests. And there again, U.S. government is our largest for taking exams with biology, in a second place for that. Next slide. Our extras, just to kind of give you an idea, our ASVAB. This fall we have 21 students. And our PST, last year we had 19. We have 36 kids taking that tomorrow, so a huge jump for that. And then writing work keys, we updated a little bit because we just had someone take that, and that's for our seniors to be able to graduate. Last spring, we had quite a few, so this year we were not waiting until the spring for seniors, and our goal is moving forward that every junior be finished with all of their testing. So going into their senior year, they do not have to worry about an SOL test. And I think that is it. So a lot condensed into one report. But we wanted you to kind of have the data behind it to know all the good things that are happening. Oh, and I did have one other thing. I'm sorry I didn't put it on there. Ms. Graham and I met with Mary Beth Dotson as well about a lab school for Health Career Academy. And it's just kind of in the talking phases for nursing as well to work. And then there was some discussion about maybe down the road a criminal justice lab school as well. So those things are kind of in the work too, but kind of in the infant stage. So there's not a whole lot to share because we've just kind of had our initial meeting. But good things to come. Questions?
Overall, same thing. You guys are doing some great things. We have some great teachers in Madison County. We have good administrators in Madison County. We have good kids in Madison County. It is very cool to see all the different opportunities that they have, especially in high school, especially across different levels. Like, I know we talk a lot here on this board. I think we've always had a concentration on the CTE stuff. It is nice to see it from the other end of things too, of like the dual enrollment offerings and things like that. I don't know that we talk about that as much too, just to kind of know that we are offering a little bit of everything depending on what these children are looking for. So yeah, great job.
I find it very fascinating that we have talks of the JRTC program, and then the ASVAB numbers are substantial.
Mhm.
It's a
They are.
giant jump. I mean,
They
looking at
are.
all the other pieces of data, like that really stands out very, very largely. What do you think was the reasoning for that? Have we had more recruiters in the school recently? or-
We have lots of recruiters in the school, and I can say they are very student-centered. Like they are down on their level and speaking their language. And I have been with some before that just kind of, the last ones have really just captured the interest of our students in a good way. Yes. We hope to see that grow and grow and grow.
Thank you. I second my comments about the good work on the test improvement scores were really impressive. Thank you for your leadership. Leadership matters a lot. And so saying to Ms. Wilson and you, so good work. Chronic absenteeism. What do you have a number for this year yet? And have you figured that where you are?
We have not. We have sat down and, like I said, we have came out the gate running with more home visits and more care meetings, getting parents actively involved. I can say, though, like on our absentee list, since SCA has really gotten that school spirit and that leadership rolling, it's not the length that it was last year.
That's good. That's great. Thank you. And then thanks for including things like the homeschool student. That's one of our kind of pushes has been to try to make be a school system for everybody. And so thanks for being welcoming to those homeschool students. I think it will make a difference down the road. And then last thing, just my son graduated last year from high school and he's in college this year. He just got his midterms and he got straight A's. And I asked him how he was doing, and he said his dual enrollment English class helped him an awful lot. And so it's
Good to hear.
Anecdotally, it prepares kids or
Yes.
preparing kids well. So thank you for that.
Good to hear.
I don't have anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move into our business information section of our agenda. We are on 12A and an update on the 2022-2027 Comprehensive Long Range Plan.
As we carefully go through 80 pages. I'm just kidding. We won't go through all this because this is a review year. We just have to review this by November 1st and go over how we're meeting the objectives. So the good thing is your board meetings that we have had leading up this moment, you've been going over these objectives. So I'm quickly going to point you to like page numbers. Hopefully they're going to be able to flip with me on that screen, and we're going to get through this very fast. I promise. Okay? Like very fast. We can do this because you've done this already. So if we go to page 4, priority 1 goal, that was your promote excellence in both the classroom and the extracurricular activities. And so that you have already seen and heard about the progress through all of the school plans. So all the school plans, the overview of them are attached to this document as appendices. So those will be in the back. So when this is posted, people can see that. So you've already gone through all those. So on page 5, priority 2, promoting the well-being of every student. Again, you heard about that in the school plans. And we also require by law to post our literacy plan, and the literacy plan has to be part of the comprehensive plan. So that's attached as well. So you've been through all that. You approved the literacy plan in June. So you've seen everything. Priority 3 is best practices to address the well-being of every student. This is like the health one. So with that, that's the Character Ed program. I did put like a little blurb starting on page 8, but that's everything you heard last month from our Character Ed program. So again, if you want to go through any of this again, but again, you've already met these goals this year and gone over everything. So, and then the character education presentation is attached as well to this program that you had last month. So priority 4 on page 9 is all about CTE. First of all, you just got an update of some CTE offerings. And then there is a blurb on page 11 going over basically what she just said, what she talked to you about the things that we offer, some of those numbers, a little bit about that grant that was received this summer that's being used to improve the programs, and everything that you've heard about already. And then on page 11, priority 5, the highly desirable work environment. So that is a written blurb starting on page 12 at the bottom. Just some things we highlighted that you've heard about. One of those tonight, and you've heard about it before, the Future Educators Academy, where we're growing our own. Then the teacher residency program, where we're partnering with VCU to hopefully get one of or a couple of our teachers' assistants to become teachers. And then our Teachers for Tomorrow program, just the classes that we offer at the high school, not part of FEA. And then licensed staff, how they're becoming more qualified, new teacher support. 17.21% of teachers are in their first year of full-time teaching here. That's amazing that we have so many new teachers. Compensation improvements, you gave a bonus last June, a 3% pay raise, and then active recruitment in all the places that we recruit. So there's the summary for that. And then, as much as the Board of Supervisors loves to see it, on page 14 is where we're still trailing behind for our teacher pay. We like to bring that out. Priority 6 begins on page 14 with, that's the safety and accessibility. So we do have, and that the big goal is improving our facilities. So the CIP plan, where it stands now, is attached to the document. And you just heard from Mr. Timmons. What was that? September? Last month? Okay, it's all running together. And then priority 7, to promote the partnership between students, staff, and families. So with that, we just did a write-up on page 16 of just all the different ways that we communicate with folks, the different information that's sent home to families, the different staff advisories, surveys, what we do with the budget, just a summary of all the things that we do to communicate with folks, and then partnerships that we have with Germanna. And then there's other things that outline, so that's your long-range plan and all the updates for that. And then just following the policy we have on the comprehensive plan, all that is in this document now, so it's an easy place for everyone to see all this important information. So on page 18, that's our forecast of enrollment changes. So starting with 2025, we're sitting down at about 1511. It's what we've talked about in the past, where we're seeing so fewer kindergartners, in the area, and we're graduating off our bigger classes, and those smaller classes are joining us. So that's what's reflected over time. It's something we've talked about before. And the plan to enroll, you're required to talk about whether or not there's a consolidation in the near term, but there's that's not being discussed at the time being with the Board of Supervisors in the CIP meetings about the need to consolidate a building. For evaluation for regional program opportunities, this is a summary of different partners that we have within the region that we find ways and things to do for our kids. And so some of the things that you just heard the high school talking about, the partnership with the Future Educators Academy, the partnership with K-Tech. We also have that partnership that you sign every year with Rappahannock. So right now we have some students taking culinary arts. They go there. Was it three? So you see that. And then plan for regional programs. We have to say how we'll pursue that. So that's written up, the plan that we follow. The technology plan, those are just what's in line with the state's technology comprehensive plan. And it mentions in there that advisory group was started in 2024, because this covers the last 2 years. The needs assessment and community partnership, I'm on page 20 now. How we conduct our comprehensive needs assessments. We have all those different stakeholder groups. We might even add a new one we learned tonight. And we do community and staff surveys as needed. And then, of course, our schools are always analyzing their data. Corrective action plans, those are attached. That's what the schools have been going over the past 2 months for you. And then plan for parent and family engagement. That's in line with the priority that you have for family engagement. And then there's all the appendixes. So there you go. We made it through that very fast. But like I said, it's just a review of things that we focus on through board meetings. So, and that is your update.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Could we get the committee members updated?
Those were the committee when you did the plan.
Okay.
So those were, that's why that's in there like that, because those are who wrote the goals. The
Gotcha.
original
Okay.
authors of those goals. So that'll change in 2027 when there's
Perfect.
new goals.
Okay.
They're not actually on the committee. Those were just, at the time, the committee.
Who they are.
Yeah,
Okay.
that wrote it.
Understood. Anybody else have any questions, comments?
But I will go in there and mark that, like, write that, so people understand that's what that is.
There's a couple people on there, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'll
make sure
it
that
clear.
they, yeah,
Like
that
original
aren't even
founders thereof.
employed here
Right.
anymore, so.
Right.
Okay. 2026 budget, 27 budget.
Yes, here we are, already talking about the budget calendar. So we will do that
I will
first.
not
is
forget
the-
that. I will not,
You are here now for this. FY27 budget calendar presentation. We'll start with that. Sorry, tech guys. Thank you. So this is our calendar. We present this every fall to you to let you know the process that we'll be going through. I do know there will be some changes on the board, but you guys will be with us for a little bit of it. So we're in October now, and I'm going to share with you the surveys that we're going to do in November. We'll continue with the surveys. We're going to get out the parent, staff, and community survey, and then there is the school board conference where they share a lot of budget information for what's to come. And that is after the election, so the VSBA actually sends invites, don't they, Ms. Patterson, to the new board members too, so it's an option for them to go as well, of people that would be on the board. And then in December, we really get going with the staff budget requests, because we'd like to have those finished up by January, because it's very important to know every need that all of our staff members have as far as the budget goes for January. And then by the time we get to February, the school board's already presenting their draft budget, and we're having the public hearing for the budget. So things move quickly. So that's the timeline. You'll see this timeline for the next two board meetings, because we just like to keep reminding folks in the community of how the budget's set. So I did want to share for you, and Ms. Kropp, sorry she couldn't be here tonight. She got a lot of feedback. She works with a group of the finance folks from around the region with the parent survey, the parent community survey. She was able to get a lot of examples for us, so we used some ideas about some good questions. So we're excited to get this out. It's for any community member, parents, students, employees, community members that don't even have children in the division, because it's their tax dollars. So we're hoping to get a lot of feedback from folks. We'll send it out to the local news, and then just send it out to all of our parents as well, just to get some good ideas of like how do people perceive that we're spending money, what are some things they wish more money would be spent on, where are they going to plant the money tree, those kind of things. And then
Social media,
yes.
so,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we'll send it out. And then for staff budget requests, we're making it, we hope it's easier for staff members this year. The Superintendent's Advisory Committee, they do such a great job getting their colleagues to help fill out the spreadsheet that we do, but we turned it into a form for them this year, hoping that it'll make it a little easier and user-friendly to fill in. But like you guys know, we go through this when we do our budget workshop. Like, we really look at every staff request and rank them to try to use the funding that we do get as wisely as possible and make sure that everyone's needs are met. So this is what staff members will get, so that we can get an idea of everything they need and which category it falls into. So hopefully they'll find this much easier than that spreadsheet we used in the past. Any questions with any of those documents? Okay. It's hard to believe that we're already here talking about FY27. It's weird to see that number, FY27 budget. All right, are we ready for the policy regulation update?
Sure.
So this is very minor, and this is just a regulation. That's why it's not up. You guys don't need to like vote on it. It's a regulation, so we're making you aware though of a change. It's been a little confusing for folks with the outside rates, because sometimes requests that people have had, especially when it comes to using like technology expertise and things like that, the rate written doesn't quite match what they're asking for or needing. So there's a strike through if you look on the next page. Let's see. Thank you. there's a strike through of all the rates and just a blurb to folks that if use of the facility requires the custodian or maintenance or technology employee, or any employee in that matter, because sometimes some different things have come up, then labor rates will be quoted. So we'll get the write-up, Stacy will get the write-up for the need and take it. Either he'll be able to answer it, he might take it to Tina or myself, and we'll all figure out, like, and give the person reasons why, like, this would be the cost for using these people. So, and it helps folks know whether or not it's available, like the help that they need. So that is all with that. And then you're ready for the last one?
And it's awesome to, the line in there about local government agencies like Parks and Rec won't be charged, and that's such a big deal for the Parks and Rec. So
Oh, yeah.
it's always admired, and hope it continues the good relationship between Parks and Rec and the schools. It's really important to
We have
the
a
young
great,
teams.
great working relationship with them. Okay.
And then our last item is business approval for the middle school trip.
Yes, a middle school field trip, which is really exciting. And Andrea's going to do that tonight. We're just going to fill in.
I'm filling in for Ms. Daniel. Unfortunately, was not able to be here this evening. Yeah, so sorry. So our FCCLA would love the opportunity to go on an overnight trip in the spring. This is going to take place the last 4 days of spring break. So next slide. These are some of our former members as well. So this conference is taking place at Virginia Beach. And at the Virginia Beach Convention Center, some different hotel options have been placed before you to choose. Those will be what are chosen from. Again, it is the last 4 days of spring break. Next slide. So what this workshop allows the kiddos, the conference, it does allow them to collaborate with other students from FCCLA, meet them, different advisors. There are a couple little quotes you'll see sprinkled throughout her presentation of these are our students' quotes who are in FCCLA and who have really gotten to do some good work over the last 2-ish years. The program is continuing to grow, and Laura's put a lot of hard work into that. You can see that after the keynote session, they get to break out into some workshops, and they focus on those different career paths. Next slide. There are competitions, and our students even participate those throughout the school year. So there are different competitions. Our group, our club participates in. And so some of those big skills you'll see are character development, creative and critical thinking, interpersonal communication, practical knowledge, and career preparation. And these are some of our students who came and presented to you last school year. Next slide. So they can either do individual or group competitions at this event. And so, again, you have a couple more little nice quotes here. Going to these conferences can teach FCCLA members how to function in a working environment and teaches professionalism, maturity, and how to work with people you don't know. Another kiddo, Ivriva, I think going to States would be an awesome opportunity to meet people from all over that have similar interests in FCCLA. We would focus on skills of time management, learning how to dress properly, and social skills. Next slide. And so to kind of highlight the details of the trip, they would leave on that Thursday evening, and excuse me, nope, they arrived that Thursday. I apologize. So let me see her middle section. I apologize. I'm sorry I didn't put this together, so I'm going to do my best. This is just the itinerary of what takes place throughout. That's their agenda for the event. So STAR event starting at 9 a.m. and it goes till 5:30, and there's food in there, a general session, the next day's business, and then a closing session on the third day, so 3 days worth. Next slide. for the budget. So they would take our school vans because would involve 5 kiddos going. So kind of the leaders of FCCLA is who attend this. It does cost $25 a person, so that's a total of $125 to register for it. We would take our school vans, and then the entire event is $165 a person. The star events were $25 a person, totaling $125. Each person to go is $165, which is approximately $1,000. The hotel costs, the total of this for those 5 students would be $1,825. And then each member would need about $100 for their meals as they go. Next slide. They are hoping to do some more fundraising. Last year, the FBLA chapter did this program called Teens for Tech. And so they put together a video and they reached out to like some of our younger schools, to the Boys and Girls Club. They did some work with them. We reached out, and so they raised $8,000 through that plan. So you reach and teach groups of people how to use technology, and they give you money for that. It's pretty awesome. So the kids are teaching different groups, and so she is hoping to do that same thing with FCCLA this year and hopefully be that successful. So that is the goal for fundraising for this trip. Next slide. And then, of course, our students are going to be expected to follow what our code of conduct is and our expectations at the middle school. They're going to be representing Madison County, so the behavior, professionalism, holding them accountable. But I can speak to that group, and they are some excellent students, and there's not one worry in the world that they wouldn't do that. Next slide. And yeah, I think that's the big overview. So Virginia Beach, 4 days, 3 nights. And it'd be a great opportunity. There's also a recognition ceremony there too. As you win competitions, they'll highlight the winners and things like that. So kids will get to engage in workshops. So they would love the opportunity. And I'm all for them doing it. So they have my approval, and we would love yours as well. So are there any questions you think I might be able to answer further about that?
Any questions?
No. Great.
Motion to approve the trip to Virginia Beach.
We have a motion to approve. We need a second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
I do feel like I'm going to beat Mr. Wingate to this one too. We would love it for the kids to come back and tell us all about it.
They will do that. They will do
Yes.
that. And I can tell you, our Bay trip group is really looking forward to coming, sharing as well. It was a phenomenal field trip to Smith Island. So thank you for that. And they're going to be either at next month's or December's board meeting to present.
And maybe Mr. Wingate will come back to hear that
Yes.
presentation.
Yes.
Who will?
Mr. Wingate can come
Since
back.
he won't be- since he won't be serving.
Spring break.
Spring break.
Join the crowd. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okey doke. We are ready for reports. School board members. Anybody have anything to say? Mr. Sheets?
So our CIP meeting was scheduled for last week. I was out of town. I was going to call in, but there were some other folks that couldn't make it either. So we didn't have the meeting, but Stacy, Dr. Timmons did send out an email with some updated stuff, so I'll just pass this along. The Waverly Yale HVAC project, there was a change order in the amount of, right at $12,000 for valves and actuators that were not included in the original contract, some stuff that we needed. So that's a little bit we got to put toward that. Apparently the boiler in the bus shop is causing problems. I emailed Dr. Timmons to see, actually I don't know this and I should, do we burn our waste oil in the bus shop? No. Okay. I asked him if we can look into replacing the boiler with a waste oil burner to provide heat, and then we can get rid of the oil as well. So I'd like to look into that and see what the possibility is. Now, obviously, waste oil burners don't typically heat water for bathrooms or kitchens or whatever. So we may have to look at an electric water heater to install just to provide that water. But I think the waste oil would kill two birds, one stone. So something to look at there. But anyway, that's all the updates I have. Thank y'all.
Just two quick updates. Good visit today with a walkthrough for all 4 schools. Thanks to the superintendent and the folks, the principals, and everybody put that on. It was a good day-long visit. So thank you for hosting us, and a lot of good work in the schools. And thank you for that. And it's just a small note that we talked about before. Just want to highlight the fact that we approved a thing where we're going to add the children's Bible ministry to the middle school, and that kicks off next month. So that starting in next month. And I was talking to principal earlier, and I think it's 60 or 70 kids, something like that total, roughly. So it's 60 or 70 families who will then have now an opportunity to take part in something they wanted to on a voluntary basis, and receive that instruction from the Children's Bible Ministry. So thank everybody for working through that, and I'm excited about that starting. So it'll be in the middle school in addition to the elementary school from now, and so I'm happy about that. That's all I got. Thank you.
Well, my big report was I had to attend the Blue Ridge Governor's School meeting with Ms. Graham, and it was probably the most healthy attended meeting thus far that I've seen. It was absolutely packed, not an empty chair in the place. And outside of just normal things of getting classes in, they did have a very unique demonstration on uses of AI for our Blue Ridge Governor's School kids, which I'll be very honest, I'm not a huge tech fanatic on certain aspects, but this actually seemed to have some pretty cool classroom applications that could be functional, I thought, in ways that they could not get around it. They've done a very good job of filtering it in, so I was pretty impressed. I hope that it really works out, that it can be something that's functional and not like overtaking education, but helpful. It's a good tool. We'll see. But that was pretty informative.
I don't really have any business updates. I do want to take this opportunity to remind everybody, if you haven't voted yet for T-Mobile, like now is your time, like anybody watching out there too. I also just kind of want to shout out to, I know fall sports, we're getting to the end of it, but like our sports teams, I know our band has done some pretty phenomenal things here lately. I know my son just finished cross country over at the middle school. And so just a shout out to all of our student, not just athletes, just extracurricular students out there that are doing some really phenomenal things. And I know we have homecoming game this Friday, so come out and make it loud at my house, guys. I don't live that far away. We can hear you. Let's go. So that's all.
First off, thank you, Pastor, for the prayer. That was amazing. I just wanted to add for the softball coach, I've only played softball when I was about 4 years old, not my sport, but I play constant sports every season, even through the summer, and I can say through every single coach that I have had, track, football, soccer, it is just amazing. Like the relationship, I've learned over the years that it's not always about winning, it's about the skills. And like when I first started soccer, I knew nobody, and we became a family together, and that's amazing that like all the players came out together and supported you, and that's how I would feel for any of my coaches if that ever happened. I would have been by their side, and thank you for all that you do, because coaches are really parents to you. They guide you through anything and everything. They help you when you struggle, and I just want to thank you for everything that you do. Also for the Bible ministries in the middle school, I remember when I went into middle school, I was very sad that I didn't have Bible ministries anymore, because that was probably one of my favorite things.
So it is just amazing to see that too.
Thank you for sharing. I just have one update. I attended the prep board meeting with Miss Graham 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. In their new building. It is fabulous. It is very welcoming. It looks like a school, acts like a school, is a school. Their numbers are low right now, but we are hoping for some more activities and some more promotion of that program, maybe adding some additional services to ramp up some revenue. And it's certainly needed regionally, and it's exciting. New director, new space. It was a good meeting. So they are thinking outside of the box and planning outside of the box to get some revenue in there. So for those of you that don't know what PREP is, it's Piedmont Regional Education Program, supports lots of regional special needs children. So, and we're a member of it. And that's all I have. Ms. Graham?
Just really quickly, I want to say to the high school that you can really tell that there is an uptick in school spirit right now. I think it goes well beyond that T-Mobile competition. I'm just walking around the high school. This high school staff is so supportive of the kids. And if you go to volleyball games or football games and you have seen that student section that travels, like even at the Green football game, the number of our students that traveled to that football game was just amazing. It's good to feel the energy. So just a big shout out to the high school. Piggybacking off of what you said a little bit, Sue, our music program is phenomenal, middle and high. The rendition that the high school, and I've heard it twice now from the high school choir singing the rendition that he's found of the Star Spangled Banner is amazing. Like, it's beautiful. They did it before a band showcase where they invited, maybe it was like 7 bands that came out and did their field show, and then they did it the other night at their concert. But it'll give you chills. It is a beautiful. We should have them come to the next board meeting and do it before
December,
before the pledge,
or
yes.
before January.
We'll see if we can get them here. Let's do that. So
Thank you.
that can be one of our parting gifts to you all. So for maybe November or December meeting, like, it's just phenomenal. The great job. Our music programs, middle and high, are growing so much, and it starts at primary and the elementary school with the programs they have there. So, I mean, it's just huge. It's good to see kids not only involved in athletics but the arts here, because we can be mighty in both things, and I think we're on our way. And a shout out to Waverly for their participation in Virginia 250, the Reading Revolution. They have folks coming all week to read to our students stories about Virginia's history and our connection in Virginia to what's happened and how the nation was formed. So that's a really big deal. And then what we learned about AI at the governor's school, they are coming either this week or next. I can't remember. It's on my calendar. But I came back and I told our technology team all about it. And so Donald reached out to them, and we have a rep coming to talk about it. I think it's called School AI. So, yep. So we're going to learn more about that. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, for the good of the order, motion to...
Make a motion to close.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is...
I think maybe I reach out to him and just coach him through what they're looking for about plan to improve the program, and then they could push. I mean, that's really an impressive showing tonight.
It is. I can promise you, if I was getting fired off the school board, there would not be anyone here talking on my behalf and keeping.
That's not true
No,
either.
think about
That's
that.
not true. A lot of people like you a lot. But I said, to me, it sounds like he needs some coaching on how to present himself. And based on what Anna said today about that meeting.
He's not a showman.
But
You
it's
know,
more than showman. I mean, you have to come and sell your what you're selling. I mean, what you're providing. You have to hire you a little bit.
I don't know. I've seen some coaches that were awesome coaches, but they were the roughest, gruffest people I've ever been around.
I'm just saying they get hired, though.
Oh, they get hired.
I mean, he's got to, they.
Does what we voted on tonight be what it is?
Well, I think he should get urged to apply. listen, coach, hey, they want to see it. This is the direction we're going to go.
Well, the only thing we voted, the only thing, we haven't voted on anything, yeah. Basically, we have not filled a varsity softball position.
Right, we need to get him to
Haven't filled
Hey,
it.
Pastor, how are you? Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
It's like
sir.
on the table, I can't get past you.
You take one and give one to Greg.